Cowboys Nation, another season, another loss. And with tradition, this is what I got this year is a straight Kentucky bourbon whiskey. And we're going to pop this open and talk about this game. And I'm not going to lie to you, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real that I'm making this video. I'm shocked. I'm surprised. There's a little bit of a smirk on my face because I'm looking at this score and I just can't believe it. The Cowboys lose to the Green Bay Packers 48-32. I took more than I should. I took more than I thought I did. Oh, God. But Cowboys lose. They're one and done. And it's hard to wrap my head around that because this is not the way it should have ended. This is not the way this season should have ended. And it is. And I'm going to need your help. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this game, what your initial reactions are. And trust me, guys, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions, and I'm going to be frank with you. I don't have a lot of answers, and I'm unbiased and realistic, but I also like to think I'm patient, and it's okay to be emotional with answers because we just lost. 3 straight seasons, and I mentioned it in my quick recap video that I posted on Instagram and TikTok. 3 straight seasons we go 12-5. And in those 3 seasons, we only have 1 playoff game that we won. 3 seasons. We've surmounted 36 wins in those 3 seasons, but only 1 playoff win, and it came against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm not one to call for jobs. I'm not one to call, that person should be fired or that, but it's hard not to think outside of this and wonder if is anything ever going to change. I'm speechless. I'm shocked by this win. I thought the Cowboys, they are the better team. Unbiased and realistically, and Green Bay Packer fans, if you're jumping on board here, you know that as well. The Cowboys are the better team than the Packers in terms of roster. But the reason why we play this game and the reason why we let it go for 60 minutes, and that's why we have upsets and that's why we have crazy games. The better team lost today, but that's not me making excuses. They deservedly lost this game. And everyone deserves blame across the boards. You can make the case for Coach Mike. You can make the case for Coach DQ. You can make the case for Dak Prescott. You can make the case for CeeDee Lamb. You can make the case for Micah Parsons. You can make the case for This is not just on all the players. This is just not all on the coaches. This was a complete embarrassment as an organization. Franchise, head to toe, top to bottom. That's why it's just like I'm numb right now. I'm numb to the fact that I can't believe they did that. They went out there and from the beginning, they did not show up. And this is tough. I don't have answers. Look, I think last year we knew what the weakness was. Dak needed more receivers. Dak needed more of this. Defense held the 49ers in the divisional round to 39 to 19 points. We knew leaving that game, okay, we need this. We need that to get to that next level. We went out. We got Brandon Cooks. We got more receivers. We got weapons. We bumped up the defense, spent some draft capital out there, got Stephon Gilmore, filled a lot of the empty holes that needed to be done for this team to take the next step and win 1 or 2 more playoff games. And then you're one and done to the number 7 seed, the Green Bay Packers. Everything fell into place. And this is going to suck for the rest of the playoff, seeing the rest of the playoffs. Everything was falling into place for this team to succeed. The Eagles were losing games, and it opened the window for the Cowboys to win the division. Okay, they're really good at home. Things fell into place with them being the number 2 seed. The ability to host maybe 2 playoff games. And then it's going to hurt when the Buccaneers win tomorrow, because we would have had Tampa Bay at home. And in an NFL, in a league where a lot of things were wide open, and arguably any team right now in the tournament could make a run for the Super Bowl, this stings. This hurts. Because you talk about 2 seasons ago being in the wild card. 2 seasons ago being in the divisional round. I mean, fill me in, right? 2 plus 2. Things make sense for the Cowboys to be the NFC Championship game. And they just couldn't get it done. It wasn't about health. It wasn't about penalties. They flat out did not show up as a team today. Coaching did not help the players. And the players did not help the coaching. This is an utter failure from everybody. And I'm speechless that it's over. You can't pinpoint this on one player or one person, in my opinion. Everyone is at fault here. Let's talk about the offense. And do not be misled. Cowboys put up 32 points. But this game was not close. Never was. And the glaring thing in this is defense. I know I said we're going to talk about offense, but let's talk about defense. Offense put up 32 points. Granted, a lot of it was garbage points. But the defense gave up 48 points. I'm going to lose it here. I'm going to lose it. I know I'm going to lose it. We came into this season fully confident in this defense. Micah Parsons, Jaron Kearse, Leighton Vander Esch, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, Osa Odighizuwa, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler. We were supposed to run it back. And this defense was supposed to be the anchor to this team, because the past couple of years it has been. But all season long, I was telling you guys, look, my hunch is this defense is slightly overrated, and I feel like it's being hidden by the fact that we're not playing not so great teams. Dan Quinn and his defense gave up 48 points to the number 7 seed, and Jordan Love in his first playoff game at home. That's the issue there. That's the game right there. Yes, the offense was sputtering, Mike, and we'll get to Mike. Don't worry. We got to answer that question. But you're not going to win games when you're giving up 48 points at home. And Jordan Love, 16 of 21, 270 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, he's not the only Aaron that we should be scared of. We thought it was Aaron Rodgers all these years. Aaron Jones, 21 carries, 100 plus yards, 3 touchdowns. This defense failed us. And I don't want to jump on the gun. I like these players. I think they're good players. They've shown that they could be good players all season long. But I'm just going to say this in the nicest way possible that I can, unbiased and realistically. I'm glad Dan Quinn has options. Thank you for everything, DQ. You really did a lot, and you gave us a heck of a chance the past couple of years. But the scheme, the design, playing zone, both these coaches are held accountable for today's performance. Defensively, why are we playing zone coverage in the game of the year when we are known for our man coverage? DQ sold on us. Why are we trying new things in the most important game of the year instead of going to what we know works? Because, and I've said this before, I would rather give it, and I'm just using this as an example, I would rather give it to our best player 10 out of 10 times. And if it doesn't work and if we don't win, I can live with that. Because we tried and we gave it our best and we gave it to our best players. It's when you go out there, you get cute, you try different things. That's what frustrates me. Because there's a big what if there. DQ sold. We were playing a kind of defense that we predominantly were never playing all season long. And we decide this game to try something different. I knew we were in trouble early in this game. Not only because of that first drive and the penalties, but I knew we were in trouble when I saw Micah Parsons on a 3rd and long drop back in coverage. You're telling me, and both coaches are going to hear it about this. On offense, your best player is CeeDee Lamb. On defense, your best player is Micah Parsons. Why is it on a 3rd down on the opening drive, your best player, whose best asset is rushing the quarterback, is dropping in coverage? That's coaching. That's coaching. He sold. DQ sold. Chose the worst game to have his worst defensive coordinator performance for the Cowboys. And that hurts and that stings. Because people are going to remember this game more than everything else that he did, unfortunately. And I think, I know this is it. That's it for DQ. And I'm telling you guys right now, this team is going to look so different next year. DQ's not going to be your defensive coordinator. Stephon Gilmore may not be your cornerback. Jaron Kearse may not be your safety. You're definitely going to have a different linebacker. That's with Overshown, DeMarvion Overshown, one of our rookie studs, playing next year after he had his ACL tear in the preseason. Al Harris, cornerbacks coach, does he step up, become the defensive coordinator? It's going to look a lot different, and that's just on the defensive side of things. Jordan Love, perfect passer rating. And look, Jordan Love has had a spectacular season, especially a really special run here in the past 8-9 weeks. We made it easy on him. And one of the highlighted matchups was Matt LaFleur against Dan Quinn, the Padawan versus the Master, the mentor versus the mentee. DQ got cooked. And that just can't happen. And I mentioned in my pregame prediction video, I was worried about it, and it happened. Micah Parsons was completely ineffective in a playoff game, in a must-win playoff game. You want to know the crazy thing, too? 0 sacks. We never touched Jordan Love today. 0 sacks from this defense. 0 turnovers. And I told you guys, what's the lifeblood to this team? Turnovers. And they didn't even get one. Speechless, man. Like, I'm just... you're almost numb to it. And, DQ's gone. He's going to accept a position with the head coach for somewhere else. And the defense, supposed to be one of our best parts, did not show up. They disappointed us in the game of the year. Oh, my God. A year where we're supposed to go and finish business. We get knocked out the first round. Everything was falling into place for this team. Here's the NFC East. Here you go. You get to host a playoff game where you've won 16 straight. Oh, by the way, if you win this one, you're going to host another one. It was a clear path. And no one showed up. You want to talk about the offense? Mike McCarthy is on the hot seat as an offensive coordinator. Because I'll tell you what happened. Halfway through the second quarter, did you guys notice the pass versus rush selection? It was 10 rushes to 7 passes. You want to know something? The Dallas Cowboys are not a run-first football team. And the same thing I said about Dan Quinn and DQ, him resorting to zone coverage over man coverage, which is something we've been doing all season long and have proved successful in it. Same thing with the offense. We know we're a pass-first team. We know Dak and CD are the connection of this team. We know that. We understand that's the identity of the team now. So why in the world are we trying to force a run when it hasn't worked all season long with Tony Pollard? You can't make this stuff up. These coaches in the game of the year, all you have to do is go to your playmakers. Go with what's gotten you 12 wins this season. And for some reason, pride, ego, or plain ignorance or arrogance, they decide to try something new that we have never done successfully or effectively all season. And that's what you saw in the first half. The reason why it was somewhat close in the second half, not only because it was garbage points, but because we actually had to resort to the thing that we did best. These coaches never had these players in the best situation possible leading up to this week. DQ's gone. You don't have to think about firing him. He's already gone. Mike is on the hot seat. And I don't know. I know that's going to be the number one question. Should Mike be fired tomorrow? Do you fire Mike McCarthy? I don't know. I don't know. That is such a tough question to ask. It really is. I know you're emotional. I know you're hot. I know you want him gone. But I don't know. 3 seasons, 12 plus wins. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Anyways, though. Dak and CD has been the 1-2 punch all season long, and you get away from it the first quarter, the second quarter. That puts... Look, I'll describe it to you. I'll describe you exactly what happened. Dak and CD are the connection. When you're not doing that, Dak's not comfortable. We saw that in the first half. We saw him not being comfortable or confident. So now it's subconscious. It's mental. Because now Dak thinks he has to force the issue with that connection because you went away from it from the first quarter, the first half. That's why the interceptions happen. Because now you got Dak out of rhythm. And now he's doing uncharacteristic things. Forcing passes, trying to make something happen when it's not there. And it just spiraled. It spiraled. Pick six, incompletion. Dak's not feeling himself. He's not comfortable. He's not confident. And on top of that, the defense playing zone, getting 6-7 yards off on the man. They get an easy completion. No pressure. Jordan Love's making the throw. That's how you get to a 27-7 deficit in the first half. And there's no excuses. Everyone is held accountable here. To come into a playoff game that unprepared is fire-worthy. It is. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm saying that. Especially in the context of knowing that this is the third straight season that the Dallas Cowboys have made the playoffs with 12-plus wins. I'm going to throw a curveball at you. And I know Dak threw 2 interceptions, one of them being a pick six and the other one by Alexander. A lot of contact on that play. I'm not making excuses. I've been very vocal against Dak sometimes when necessary. But if you're sitting there and saying we lost this game because of Dak Prescott, if you're sitting there and saying that he's the one that needs to be gone for this team to go forward, you're ill-informed. I think that. I think there was a formula that former teams have put on tape earlier in this season that showed that you can isolate Dak Prescott. And once you isolate Dak Prescott, you take away the offense and you put the pressure on the defense. And God knows all you have to do is run against this year's defense and you can win the game. That's exactly what they did. That's the formula, and that's what the Cowboys did. And you can also get a little bit of help if Mike McCarthy is prideful. And I think that's maybe what was the case here. Is Mike wanted to prove to everyone and show everyone that he could beat his former team in different ways, showboat, run up the score, but in doing that, he took away his team's biggest strengths. DQ wanted to show up, wanted to show out, show everyone that he could beat his former quarterback's coach, Matt LaFleur, in different ways with zone man coverage and confuse them. He just confused his players. This is coaches at an ego at their best. Because if you look at what happened today, there's no fumbles. So you can't say it was the players. There was 2 interceptions. Dak forced one. Penalty could have been called on the other. Surprisingly, I would have expected our players to play better, and I wanted them to. But let's be honest, and I'll be your unbiased and realistic Cowboys fan. These coaches did not put them in the best situation possible today. Look at the first half. Mike McCarthy didn't give Dak and CD the best chance to win to start the game. You know it. You saw it. You questioned it. Why are we running the ball so much? We all knew it. Go out there and sling it and have them compete with us. But no, we thought we'd give Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle the ball 10 plus times in the first half when CeeDee Lamb has been unstoppable. When this has been a 17th overall defense in the Green Bay Packers. And when it caught up, look, Dak, 41 of 60, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. CeeDee Lamb, 9 receptions, 110 yards. Michael Gallup, 6 receptions, 103 yards. Jake Ferguson, 10 catches, 93 yards. You show me those stats, and you've never seen the game, I wonder how we lost. It's because this defense forfeited 48 points. And while we're talking about the defense looking different, this offense may look different as well. Tony Pollard on a franchise tag. He's gone. Michael Gallup hasn't produced as much. He's gone. Brandon Cooks, does he come back? I think the Cowboys go young in the draft and they draft someone to replace him. Jake Ferguson, tight end 1. We all knew that. I don't know why they decided to draft second round Luke Schoonmaker. We all knew Jake Ferguson was going to step up to the plate. Another season. This is embarrassing. And I'm tired of this. And it was promising. I never seen an NFC playoff picture so wide open. And for the Cowboys to have a potential path to the NFC Championship, I've never seen it so clear. They dropped the ball, every single one of them, and it's disappointing, and it sucks. And you should be rightfully angry. Everyone should be. This is not how the season should have ended. That's as best as I could be. Everything that could have gone wrong and everything that the Cowboys could do wrong, it happened. It freaking happened. Everything that you weren't supposed to do, the Cowboys did in that first half. Everything that the Cowboys didn't want to happen, it happened. Comes down to preparation, comes down to execution. That's why I can't just say it's all on the coaches. And that's why I just can't say it's all on the players. Because it's on everyone. There was missed tackles, there was miscues, there was penalties. There was laziness in a playoff game. There's lack of hustle. There's lack of concentration. This was the biggest choke job I have ever seen. And we lost to a team that's going to get bounced next round. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But the Packers are not going to go far. And they're going to get bounced next round. Hats off to the Green Bay Packers. You beat us. I'm not going to make any excuses. You beat us. You went on the road and beat us. But I'm numb to this point. Can't really cry. Can't really get angry. I told you guys, if they were going to lose, it was going to be on their own dime. And if it was going to be on their own dime, it was going to be because they were going to commit a lot of uncharacteristic things. And they did. I mean, every little miscue, every little misdetail, every little thing that I had mentioned all season long, it all came up in one game. The red zone issues, the inability to attack downfield and just execute laterally, going left and right instead of up and down. The overusage of the running game and not passing it enough. Texas Coast defense was taking over that first read due to their zone coverage. Everything that I mentioned back in week 3, week 5, week 6, week 7, you got to tip your hat to the Green Bay Packers because they scouted that to perfection. And the Cowboys couldn't combat any of that. I mean, they became a shell of themselves. And defensively, missed tackles, penalties, lack of discipline, lack of run stopping on the outside. Aaron Jones had himself a big game. I don't know where to go from here, guys. I don't know. I know DQ's gone, like I've been saying. It's hard to think about getting rid of Dak because of the financials of the situation. The draft class doesn't help because we had one of our worst draft classes ever this past season, off season. And the stars were aligning and we didn't take advantage of it. Sees everything my you-know-what. This was fraudulent. Cowboys are frauds. And this is a tough way, sour way to end the season. It's over. Cowboys are one and done. Dak falls to 2-5 in the postseason. Mike has only won one playoff game as the Cowboys head coach. And it goes on. 27, 28 years without an NFC championship appearance. And I want to thank each and every one of you for watching, subscribing, liking, following. It's the end of a season, and I can't thank you enough for watching. And I definitely want to thank my family for the sacrifices that they made. Look, content creation may seem simple, me jumping in front of the camera and talking about it, but there's a lot of background stuff that happens, editing, breaking news, reports. There's a lot of things that go behind the scenes, and a lot of that is sacrifice from my family, from my wife and 2 kids, and that means a lot. And to talk about the Cowboys just means a lot. So, and you know, my wife and I already had that discussion. But thank you to each and every one of you guys. All the conversations that we had this season, the get to know each other, the follows, the comments, it means a lot. And I wish we could have gone further. I had expected us to go further. But just thank you so much. I'm going to be taking a break. It's a lot, like I said. I was wrong. I predicted the Cowboys to win, and they lose. And it's a lot, all of this. It's a lot of sacrifice, and it's tough. You know, you almost think like it's stupid, but you almost think like you're a player contemplating retirement, where it's like, okay, I know I'm going to have the off season, I'm going to have this, but like, can I rev this all up for another year? And I think it's just going to be good to have time away. I love doing this, but I'll say it's a lot of work. And I don't know. I know you guys have been along for the ride and been following and subscribing me, but I think the off season will be good for me in terms of content creation. Just a nice break, but I love you guys. Thank you for a great season. Didn't end the way that we wanted it to, but I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. And comment down below. And hey, man, I finished my drink, but hats off to you guys. You guys are the real winners. And Cowboys choke. Another season in the drain. We'll see what happens. I'll see you guys.
Prescott, touchdown. Throw, look the middle.